After receiving a letter from Einstein warning that Germany could be working on creating weapons of mass destruction, Roosevelt would create the Committee of Uranium in October of 1939, starting what would eventually become the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project would officially start after Roosevelt approved the creation of the Manhattan Engineer District and approved $5 million for it. This project would take the collective efforts of thousands of people across the nation with varying backgrounds, and though its name would suggest Manhattan was the main center of operations, this isn't entirely true. The three main places of operation would be Hanford, Washington, which would produce plutonium, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which would mainly produce enriched uranium, and Los Alamos, New Mexico, where the creations of the bombs would occur. This project would be kept under wraps and was a secret so closely guarded that even Roosevelt's Vice President Harry Truman didn't even know about it. Truman would attempt to figure out where all the funding was going towards, but he would only be able to find out what was actually going on after Roosevelt would pass away on April 12, 1945, making Harry Truman the new President of the United States. With this new authority, he was finally able to learn of the Manhattan Project, with Secretary of War Henry Stimson informing Truman of the project, stressing its powerful ability to change international order, and that it required a revision of international methods for obtaining peace. Germany would surrender on May 8, 1945, shifting the focus of the Allies to the Pacific and the decision as to what would happen to Germany. Truman, Stalin, and Churchill would meet up in Potsdam, Germany in the summer of 1945 to reaffirm what would happen to Germany and set the terms of surrender for Japan. Alright, I think we're done here. We have Japan's terms of surrender, but before we actually commit to anything, does anyone have any more suggestions?
At any rate, that is what we are going to try to do.
They would issue an ultimatum to Japan called the Potsdam Declaration, asking them to surrender unconditionally or face prompt and utter destruction. Around this time, Truman would also learn of the successful detonation of the first atomic bomb on July 16th of 1945. So with Japan's unclear response to the Potsdam Declaration, Truman was left with a difficult decision to make. He could either continue the conventional bombing of Japan, a strategy that was proving to be ineffective, pursue a ground invasion of Japan, which was estimated to have a high casualty rate without even factoring in Japanese casualties, or go nuclear, which had two options on its own. Bomb an unpopulated area as a demonstration of the bomb's capabilities, or bomb an actual city. Truman and his advisors, trying to save as many lives as possible while ending the war as soon as possible, decided to pick the nuclear option, and after concluding a demonstration would be too risky, they decided to bomb an actual Japanese city. With help from leaders of the Manhattan Project, Hiroshima would be chosen as the target, as it had been generally unaffected by conventional bombing campaigns and had a background in military production. So on August 6, 1945, a B-29 bomber dropped the world's first atom bomb over the city of Hiroshima.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. It was to spare the Japanese people from utter destruction that the ultimatum of July the 26th was issued at Potsdam. Their leaders promptly rejected that ultimatum. If they do not now accept our terms, they may expect a rain of ruin from the air, the like of which has never been seen on this earth.
The bombing would destroy the city, and approximately 80,000 people were killed as a direct result of the blast. The Soviet Union would declare war on Japan only 2 days later, and on August 9th, another atomic bomb would be dropped on Japan, this time in the city of Nagasaki, with the Soviet Union preparing to arrive at their doorstep, and nearly two back-to-back nuclear bombings, Japan would surrender on August 14th, 1945, officially surrendering on September 2nd, 1945, ending the most deadliest conflict in human history.